The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of ACUMA, its board of directors, its management staff, or its members. The podcast discussion presented is conversational in nature and for general information only.
Hello and welcome to ACUMA's On Point Podcast, a series focused on sharing the stories of people who are making a positive impact in the credit union mortgage industry. I'm your host, Peter Benjamin. Today, my guest is Josh Tindel, Senior Vice President of Sales with Atlas Title Company. Josh, how are you doing today?
Living the dream.
Loving it, living the dream.
I've listened to yours enough. You like this, but this has been one of my things for a long time. I am blessed. So there you go. To live.
That's good to hear, man. Hey, I love the conversation we're going to have today. We've chatted about it a bit. Before we dive in, Hawk, what is the latest and greatest happening over at ACUMA? And by the way, how you doing, my man?
I am good. How are you, Peter?
LIVIM, man. Just living it.
Exactly. All right. So I love this. So we just came back last week from ACUMA's first Focal Point workshop.
Yep.
Which was in Nashville. That was an amazing event. All the networking, all the collaboration.
Yep.
I know Peter's talked about the workshops in the past, but you know, this time he got to mix it up with the beautiful Nash Vegas and the workshops.
Come on, man. You know this is not my first time in Vegas. I mean, Nash Vegas.
Yeah, Nash Vegas. There you go. See, it's catching on slowly but
I don't know, man.
I know you can't believe the locals actually call it.
But again, it's. I don't know. It's the bridal party capital of the world. So, I mean, we'll just go with that. So,
and it's way better than Vegas. In my opinion.
It is. No, it is.
No,
it's a lot better.
It's definitely better than Vegas.
It is. It's a fun. It's a good town.
Yeah. And then in just a few weeks, we're going to be heading to our next workshop, which is going to be in Denver on June 11th and 12th.
Yes.
Registration is open and there is still plenty of time. Seats are filling up quickly. So if you haven't registered, the question that we're all asking is, what are you waiting for?
Facts.
Come on. There's plenty of time still to get registered, get your hotels booked, get the flights booked, come out, see us. Don't want to miss this event. It's going to be great. And then after that, our last in-person event for the year is going to be on September 29th to October 2nd, which is the 2024 Make Your Mark annual conference. Registration is opened.
Yeah.
It has opened, I should say. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and start planning your travel and planning your trip. Come out and see us in Vegas.
Yeah, registration's been open about a month now.
Yeah.
Just about that. Yeah.
Just over a month, I think. And then aside from all the in-person events, we also have our virtual events, our fast tracks, our inside track webinars, our podcast, and of course, our young professional network. Providing educational content pretty much year round. Our next YPN quarterly meeting is coming up. So head over to the website and sign up for that if you're looking to join other YPNers and take in some great information.
I'm going to start calling them like Yippins.
Yippins. Oh, we can call them Yippies.
Yippies? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we have to get that approved by Cameron. I don't really know, but...
That's what we call them in Sacramento. The Yippins.
Yippins?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it. Yippins. Let's make it work. Yippins.
So there we go.
There you go.
We're not even going to run it by camera. We're just going to put the stamp of approval on it right now.
Absolutely. All right. It's the Yippin Network, and people are like, "What?" Yeah, the Yippins. All right. Awesome. Good update, Justin. Thank you very much. All right, Yosh.
Yes.
All right, man. So, a couple things. I couldn't be more excited to have you on the podcast. Now, you have been on the podcast before, where you've come in, you've talked a little bit about, Atlas Title Company, you shared some dad jokes, and at the same exact time, you're one of our most relied upon listeners of the pod. So I very much appreciate that. Now, the reason why
on that note, real quick, I did not scream Vegas at Josh.
Yeah, that's what I text you both when I heard that.
No, it wasn't directed towards you.
Okay, good.
There you go. But anyways. Josh, the reason why I want to have you on the podcast, because for me, you're someone who I've gotten to know over the course of the past few years. Feel really privileged to have gotten to know you. And when I think of people who go out every single day and really focus on that relationship building and They show true interest and true care into not just getting the business and creating a client. You actually go about this and said, oh, hey, we're going to be best friends. Hey, by the way, yeah, I'm your salesperson, but guess what? P.S. We're now best friends, and we're going to be involved. I'm going to be involved in your life no matter what. And so I love that, because relationship building, it's not easy, right? But I have such a high respect for what you do, because you make it look so effortless. And by the way, I'm not joking. Like, we're best friends now, right? It's like that's the thing. Like, you go out and you become best friends with everyone. And I think that's why I want to have that conversation with you. You know, how does someone do this, right? How did this transform? Why is relationship building in your mind such an important aspect to life, to our business, but also just building those lifelong friendships and kind of being in this together, right?
Sure.
So before we kind of dive into that, though, I need to take a step back and please forgive me.
Uh-oh.
No. One of the questions I've started asking everyone, because this is really about getting to know who Josh is. Please, for those that don't know you, and I think it's a good this is a good starting point for those that don't know you. Tell us a little bit about Josh Tindel.
All right. Well, before I even get into that, I wanted to thank you all for inviting me on to this podcast. I've listened to it for a long time. Big supporter of what ACUMA is doing from an educational standpoint, and a lot of fun is had at all of the events that you guys throw.
My man.
I thought it was going to be hard to top Louisville last year, and Nashville did it. So thank you again for allowing us to be part of this. Who is Josh Tindel? So Josh Tindel was, I grew up on the West Coast, and I've been in mortgage, real estate, and settlement now for about 25 years. And I have a fond mortgage in general was kind of baked into me at an early age. And I met my wife at the bank that I was lending at on an internship. So this started off early on in my career. And talk about some relationship building. That was probably one of the pinnacle moments, right? Of relationship building. But I've been in this space for quite some time. I've been married for 20 years this year. I have 3 beautiful children. I have a 14-year-old daughter, 11-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old son. And right now, Josh is heavily involved in everything family, kid-based. You name it, we're at it. My Cub Scouts, travel volleyball, soccer, baseball, all that stuff. So on top of all that, you got to fit some work in, right, to what we do. And this is why people say, do you like what you do? And I'm lucky enough to say I love what I do, because what I do to me isn't hard, but it is hard to certain people out there trying to figure out the best way to be able to generate business. And relationship building to me, it's very simple, because it's who do I want to do business with? Who can I relate to? Who has the same core values as me? Who has the same work ethic as me? Who prioritizes certain things that I prioritize in my life at the same level? And when I find those people, it's not that I want to become their best friends, but I definitely want to get to know them a lot more than others to see what a friendship could look like, which will turn into a business relationship, kind of by default. You're kind of made up of the 5 people that you're closest to, and I'm lucky that I have a pretty big peer group, friends, family, and now business partners that really makes this life a lot more fun. Put it that way.
All right, so the big, from what I heard, it's you just go out there and you do your best to surround yourself by just good people, right? People that no matter what are going to support you because you'll support them, right? Any relationship is 2 ways, right? No matter what, it's always give and take. And you're just trying to find, or you seek out those people who are going to be good partners in any type of relationship that you enter into. But did I understand that right?
Yeah. Yes. And to take it even one step further, I was thinking back when we moved from the West Coast to the East Coast here a couple of years ago. You find various events you're going to be going to in different entities you like to be involved with. And I ended up going to one of the Richmond Mortgage Bankers Association. It was Day on the Hill, and the night before they had a little get together downtown Richmond. So I suit up, I'm getting ready to take off, and I suggest to my wife, I'll be back in a little bit. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to this mixer tonight in Richmond for Ledge Day tomorrow. And she goes, well, who do you know there? And I was like, no one. And she goes, why are you going? I'm like, because this is going to be awesome. And so that's for her, it's torture. And for me, it's the thrill. Like the people that I met there that night, Peter, I am very tight with today, almost 2 years later. And two of those individuals specifically, we referred a lot of business back and forth over the last year and a half to 2 years, all because I decided to, break out of the comfort zone, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, meet a few people, have some laughs, and see where it takes us. So that's just an example of, to me, it's the rush, right? It's finding that fine balance of not getting, so overwhelmed you don't want to do anything, but really finding that peer group that you want to be around that you would enjoy helping.
But but part of it's putting yourself out there, right? I mean, that's a huge part of it, right? And when you're telling that story, it kind of reminded me of something one of my daughters does, Harper. She does it every so often, but like we have like this mirror in a hallway, and every so often, and again, she's 4. Every so often I walk by and she's just looking at herself in the mirror, and keep in mind, she's a twin, but she is probably the more outgoing twin and the one that's more likely going to make friends. But she just sits there and just practices. I don't know where she gets this from, but she just sits there and says, hi, my name's Harper. How are you today? It's nice to meet you. And I'm like, what on earth are you doing, kid? And when you're telling me this story, I just see I see little Josh Tindel staring himself in the mirror saying, hi, my name is Josh. How are you today? Mm-hmm. Let's be friends. And as stupid as that sounds, but part of it's being comfortable. And then she does it because she goes out and she meets friends, and she's 4 years old. But in many ways, it shows signs that, hey, I'm just going to get comfortable just putting myself out there, meeting new people. If I don't know how to just introduce myself, that's half the battle, right?
100%. And I was a pretty shy kid. I'm the oldest of 3. I have 2 younger sisters, and we're all pretty close in age. So I was pretty shy growing up, but my dad was in law enforcement. He actually became the sheriff in the 90s. And there's a lot of functions that we went to. And by default, we were at all these functions. So I was talking to all of his friends or coworkers or people at all these events. At that point, I realized that part of the Kiwanis Club and the Rotary and the Lions and all these different entities that he was a part of, the dinners he used to do, it was easy to be out there helping. And then all these adults started talking. Hey, Josh, how's it going? What's going on? What are you doing? How's school? What college are you going to be going to? So it became easy to talk to these adults because you get them to laugh or you get them to certain things taking place. So at a younger age, I realized that it wasn't hard for me to have a conversation with pretty much anyone. And that's a trait that I don't take for granted, but that's just part of who I am. I have a lot of people that come up and say, look, how do you do that? What do you do? Do you practice or whatever it might be? And you got to get yourself pumped up and go for it.
Hi, I'm Josh Tindel. It's nice to meet you. How are you today? You just every single morning, you just tell yourself in the mirror, right? I mean, that's part of it. But I mean, you're right. So I mean, really, the moral of the story is put yourself out there. Good things will come out of it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and from a personal story of mine, and I say this all. I'm an extroverted introvert. I crash. And I pretty much am go into like 24 to 48 hours of complete silence, where I barely talk to anybody after like our annual event or after our workshops, because all I'm doing is talking and being extroverted. But, and being extroverted can be good when I put myself out there. But, just sharing a story about a time where I, like you, went into an experience where I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was interesting. Like, I honestly think that this changed my life from a career standpoint. Okay. I was working for a credit union, and I was at that stage in my career where I was ready for something more. I wasn't going to, and this was early on in my career, I wasn't going to see much more than where I currently was, and so I wanted to transition, and this was an excellent opportunity. So at that point in time, it was with Capital One, and they were doing a recruiting happy hour, right? And I'm fine at happy hours when I know people, right? I'm very sociable, but they were just doing a recruiting happy hour. And I was like, And the recruiter's like, if you want to meet the hiring manager, you got to come to this event. Otherwise, you're not going to get interviewed.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to go and I'm going to be happy and just go say hi to every single person that has a Capital One name badge on, and hopefully it works out. And that's exactly what I did. I went and said hi to every single person that had a Capital One name badge on. The next day I got a job offer, and I was like, that was the interview? And they're like, yep. I'm like, well, that's awesome. And the reason why I changed my life, changed my career, because, that job took me to Dallas where I met my wife and obviously I now have an amazing family, but, here I am, brought me back to DC with my family, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. So anyways.
Well, you get yourself in these situations sometimes where you're not forced into them, but I guess you learn something from everything that you do. Every conversation you have, every time you get involved in a circle, anything, especially when things don't go the way that you plan on them going, right? There's a kink, there's a roadblock, something takes place. Your kids suffer a loss. I suffer a loss if I'm playing sports. What'd you learn from it? Like, what can you take away from that to be able to bring to the next conversation you have where you might be able to bypass that? Okay. Perfect example. I played my first tennis match of my life on Sunday. And
wait, tennis or pickleball? Because pickleball is really hot right now.
Tennis. I play pickleball too, but tennis is the first. I'm on a 2-5 men's league, and I went out and I've never played, and I thought I was going to have a partner. And like, nope, you're playing singles today, Josh. And I was like, okay, time to pivot. What I did, the first thing I did, I walked onto the court. I was looking around. I'm like, who am I going to play? I walked up to this guy who looked just like Morgan Wallen. I'm like, Morgan, don't know the guy. He's like, what? I'm like, dude, you look just like Morgan Wallen. He's like, oh man, thanks. That was the guy that I was playing. And instantly, like the barriers were down. He was from a different club. We hit it off. He smoked me up pretty good. So I had to learn to take it, as the game was going on. But I connected with him. We've actually connected after the game. He works in downtown Richmond in a different profession, but he could be a tremendous referral source for me moving forward. Tremendous. Awesome. And I would had I not actually, kind of broken the ice and had this conversation with him. Who knows? So you just there's always lessons learned with anything that you do, whether it's personal or professional.
Justin, I saw you lean in.
Oh no, I just think about tennis all the time, and I am so bad at tennis. Like, so much so that my wife won't let me play because there's a fence, and I grew up playing baseball. You're supposed to hit the ball over the fence, and so I spend a lot of time playing fetch with the tennis ball. So no, that's a great story though. I mean, I love the kind of the fact that you're saying how you taking yourself and putting yourself in these very uncomfortable situations to, getting comfortable with that. And I mean, prior to ever going down the road of marketing, at one point I was in a different line of sales, but I remember that always being like, game face time versus like when I would get off, I was just like, completely drained because I left it all out there. And I mean, I see that whenever you come to our events as well, like you're just always at a 9 for me. Like, you're always going, you're always happy, you're always smiling. You know everyone, which is amazing. I remember even last year you walked up to me and asked me who somebody was that I didn't even know, and I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great to hear those kind of stories.
But I mean, that's it. It's about making those personal connections, right?
Yeah.
And I honestly think that very few people do it as well as Josh does. Now, Josh, and I've shared this with with the group and the audience. In the past, we always have pre-recording conversations and email exchanges, and we always meet to talk about what do we want? How do we want this recording to go? How do we want this episode to go? Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that you're not mentioning, right, which I'm gonna pull you back into, that is the lessons learned from just your experience fishing and how that relates to your ability and your understanding of relationship building. So let's tie that in, because by the way, you hinted at it, but you didn't expand outside of fishing taught me how to do relationship building. And I'm like, okay, man, you have me. You have me hooked. You have me hooked.
Deeper. Yeah. Thank you, Peter, for bringing that back up. At a very young age, I went fishing with my dad and my grandpa when I was old, like 3, 4, 5 years old, young. And at that point in my life, it was just fun to get out. We were on the boat, we were in the lake. We were, in between fishing, we'd ski, we'd swim. as I got into elementary school and got into high school, it was always the thrill of catching the fish. And if I wasn't catching fish, I was bored. I'm like, oh, and then dad's talking to whoever he's with in the boat with us. And my grandpa's getting the line caught up and dad's in the back frustrated. My grandpa's laughing at my dad because he's on. It was this whole thing that took place on most trips. It didn't dawn on me, though, until when I was in college in my early 20s, as I continued to go out and fish with him and other friends, that catching any fish is awesome, right? Catching big fish is even more fun, but it's not about fish. It's about the people who I was with in the boat and the conversations that took place and what we learned about each other, or what topics came up that wouldn't have come up. I'm going back to my dad here. So dad, law enforcement, very few stories were ever told at home because he was protecting us from a lot of stuff that we shouldn't know about as youngsters. But on the boat, things changed. I'm like, when did that happen? Like I started hearing these stories about what he was when he was undercover, and then all of his friends would ask these questions, and I was in the boat listening. So I was watching this take place. And then as I continued to grow up and started fishing on my own and with my own boat with the people that were coming with me, you bring some food, you bring some beverages, you're having a good time, make sure you have enough sunscreen, all that stuff. But then what happens there, whether it's overnight, it's more fun overnight because you have to stay awake. What do you talk about to be able to keep yourself awake, right? And it could be anything. And it was the crux at an early age of, if I can just have a good time with the people that I'm with, and you're stuck on a boat in the middle of a lake or in the middle of the ocean or the middle of the river, whatever it might be, so you're not getting off, especially if it's cold, you're not going to swim out of it. You got to get, and I went fishing with a few people over the years that weren't the happiest because they weren't catching, or they were just whatever it might be. And I learned that let's talk about this, like what's going on. And from a business standpoint, I realized in the middle of my title and settlement career, I want to do what I like to do, and I want to do it with people that I also enjoy the same thing. Let's get us together and see what happens. And that's when my business exploded, was when I started incorporating what I like to do, what other people like to do, that isn't over lunch, right? It's not getting a coffee. It's not the normal stuff that everybody always talks about, right? I love sports. I love fishing. I love concerts. I love music. I love doing stuff with my family, my kids. And you get the people that you want to be around and do business with in one of those settings, boom, game over. Because they're enjoying it as much as you are in a perfect world, right? Perfect examples. This isn't fishing based, but we move here. I'm taking my youngest son to his first soccer practice, and I was suited up. I was just dropping him off. I just finished. I've coached for probably 12 years now in different sports with my kids. And I was looking forward. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take this year off. New state. Like I'm focused on growing Atlas out here. And I walk up to this guy who's by himself. There's 15 kids out there. And I'm like, hi, how's it going? Are you the coach? Yeah, I'm the coach. I said, oh, I'm Josh. This is Leo. We just moved out here from California. Good luck. And I said, where's your assistant at? Or where's your help? And he looks at me. He's like, man, my assistant coach got pulled, and he's going to be coaching another team now because his son's on that team. So it's just going to be me, and maybe I can get my wife to help me. And I sat there for a second, Peter, and I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I couldn't help it. And I'm like, well, hey, man, if you need some help, I'd be happy to help. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, no, man, like right now. I need your help right now. Okay. I took off my tie. I had my free, dress shoes on. And I'm out there running around and having a good time. And what I didn't know about this individual was that he was a top producing property and casualty insurance rep for one of the local brokerages on the East Coast. We didn't know what each other did. He didn't know what I did. He did. We've been connected at the hip. Our families have connected over the last 2 years. Tons of businesses have been referred back and forth because of people that I trust with him, and the same thing with him for me. And, it could have been very different had I not actually been like, okay, let's come from contribution. Like this guy, it's going to be hard. It was hot. These kids were going crazy. He needed somebody else. And I was like, all right, let's throw myself out there and see what happens. And it changed the landscape for us getting there, because now we had another family that who we didn't know before, same ages as our kids. Our wives, are connected with a lot of the same friends and same interests as well. So again, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Trying to find different challenges, for yourself. And from a fishing aspect, the challenge is, okay, how long can we fish? Not all the time, because then you get in trouble at night trying to come back to it. Or what's the biggest that you could catch? Like all these different, and then you start, anteing up and this and that. And then we started playing for orders. I go with multiple mortgage lenders and real estate agents over the years. Like, first fish guarantees an order. Second fish, whatever. And we go back and forth. Well, what about this? And okay, then you sponsor. Okay, if I catch a fish, then I need your help with sponsorship. Well, if you get, so it makes a game out of it, but it's fun. And this is what people remember. They're not going to remember what was talked about at a local association meeting more than likely, but they're going to remember when you're out doing things you like, when you're at a Commanders Niners game and sorry, gang, but then my Niners win. There's people that I was there with that particular day that they're going to remember that. Hey, Josh was there with his family. That they were all Ninered out, and so it's just I don't know. Again, when you love what you do, it's not work, I guess, is the biggest piece here, and this is really how Atlas was born too, Peter. Not to get too far off the subject, but we there was a niche. Lenders needed it. It's like, what other conversations can we have? Let's see what's going to happen. We were very happy with our existing jobs. What do we do? And then boom, 3.5 years later, here we are. Just thankfully, expanding into multiple states and having a lot of fun doing it. So that's
great. So moral story is get in the boat.
Get in the boat, or at least bring your rod.
That's right. Bring your rod.
Your rod.
We can do it from this. We can do it from the shore. That's fine.
That's how I used to fish. I would get in the boat on the dock and never leave the dock. That's fishing.
That's fishing right there.
A lot of bass underneath those docks, that's for sure.
That's right, man. But I like the way you kind of frame it up. For me, it's being like, whether it's fishing, whether it's golf, whether it's using the example of a sporting event, just being at a place surrounded by people who you can connect with.
Yeah, and one other, I forgot to add this. This is really important. Being present during those times, being very aware of being present and staying focused on the people that you're speaking with. And everyone's got stuff going on in our lives, right? Everyone has something taking place. But when you are with one person or a group of people, be there, right? Things are going to happen outside of the boat or of the golf course or whatever it is, but be there and listen. And this is where these conversations become much deeper because of the attention to detail that's taking place when you're present. And just being grateful for being there. I mean, there's plenty of things that come up, and I think that we're lucky enough to be healthy enough to go out and actually do what we like to do outside of the work setting. But being present, using like 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? That's on purpose. So, and I still learn that at home. I'm still in that process of building on those those skills. But it is there's a lot to be said from that.
All right, I love it. All right, so 2 final questions.
Okay.
Do you have any final thoughts on just on this conversation? Again, and if you feel as though you've already shared them, that's fine. But again, but from what I gather, right, from everything that you said, and I started this conversation off with saying that I've known a lot of people throughout this industry. There's very few people that are as good as you, and almost to the point of it being natural. And just building strong relationships with others, right? But from what I gather out of it, half of it is about choosing the right people that you can relate to, right? Mm-hmm. Surrounding yourself by that, but also more importantly, putting yourself out there, right? That's half of the battle. Good things are going to come when you put yourself out there. But do you have any final thoughts and any final points that you want to make on just this general conversation? Yeah,
and I guess staying committed to a plan. I had a guy that I worked for years ago that, he asked me often, what's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? And it was 2 months. I'm like, all right. And when I really started thinking about it, everyone's asked or suggested, get your business plan situated for the next 12 months. What's your family goals for the next year, 3 years, 5 years? What are you looking forward to? And if you don't get pen to paper, you don't verbalize it, you don't say it out loud, it's going to be harder to get yourself into these situations, into these positions, to find the right people to connect with. You might be thinking about it in your head, but as soon as you verbalize it, you write it down and you tell someone else about it, it's out there, it's in the universe, right? And it's going to happen some way or not. That's what I believe anyways. In my heart of hearts, it's just ensuring that you're putting yourself out there. You're trying to stay committed to your plan. and just be open. You don't know what's going to happen. You need to be open and be able to pivot very quickly in any situation, especially when you get a 44-pound salmon on, you get it up to the boat, it snaps the treble hook off. I'm on my back. I rub my hand. I look up. My dad's with his friend. The fish is in the net. They go to swing the net in the boat. The net breaks. So now this fish is in the water, kind of in doing its thing. They were able to grab up by the gills, and it was the biggest fish caught on the Feather River for like 20 years. This is back in 95. So again, knowing, stay calm. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you went back to that whole idea behind the plan. So, and I guess I did a poor job of framing up why we were having this conversation today. And I'll go back and I'll regret not saying this to start off with, but it's because we continue to push loan officers, we continue to push credit unions to put themselves out there to continue to support the communities that they serve, and half of that is growing your business through relationship building, right? Yes. And that it's such a vital and simple part of what we do, but it's often overlooked. Just because you have a referral source, if you're not nurturing that relationship, you're missing out. And I think today, Josh, you provide some excellent insight into ways to build strong and lasting relationships that could potentially lead to a very prosperous future.
Yeah. And to that point, Peter, there's, from a business standpoint, from the credit union space, from the broker space, from the IMB, if in order to be able to increase your pipelines, right, you need to be around people, whether it's socially, on social media, connecting with affiliates that can help you grow that business. There's got to be something else that you put into your arsenal that gets you in front of more people. And this is where referral partners are a huge part to this, right? Whether it's real estate agents, whether it's attorneys in a lending space, right? Whether it's your title and escrow companies, pick one or a few and have a deeper conversation that's not just, what can I do to earn your business?
Right.
Or do you have an order to give me? Or can I help you with this listing? It's, hey, Peter, I've seen a little bit of what you've done on social media, or I think I know a little bit about you. Who is Peter? Like the same question you asked me when we started this. That's one of the first questions. If I don't know someone, I've had multiple calls this morning already where I got people referred to me, and you do your research ahead of time. You look up, figure out what's going on, but you don't know the person until people start talking, and instantly you start asking through these questions, and that's where that initial bond has been made. Right? It's right up front. You need to earn the trust, but you could do it quick enough to be able to capitalize on that from a business aspect. And true story, met a guy, never met this person this morning before this call. And within 30 minutes of jumping off of the call, he calls me back. Hey, are you funding deals in Virginia? Yes, I got something for you. Like it was that fast. And I was pleasantly surprised, but also grateful that this unfolded the way that it did. So, anyways, I don't want to keep rambling. There's so much to this, though, Peter. There's so much to it that nobody wants to talk about in a lot of circles right now. And you need to talk about this. You need to be able to go through and bounce ideas off of whether it's internally within your own credit unions, with your leadership teams, or with some of your referral partners. Because with those conversations comes so much good for your business and personally for you as well.
No, I love it. And I hate the transition, but I do have one more question, and it's that the final question I always ask is that motivation question. We're all the same. 1 foot out of the bed. One leg in the pant leg at a time. Yeah. But no matter what, we all get up and we all keep driving. The big question really is, what keeps motivating you, Josh, day in, day out? What keeps pushing you?
Yeah, it's been a lot over the years, Peter, and it's changed over time. I lost my dad last year kind of unexpectedly. And so a lot changed mentally for me about what life is about. So what motivates me over the last year and a half, more so than ever before, has been my faith and has been my health. Because without both of those, for me, it's hard to be able to do anything. And without being healthy enough to get out and play with your kids and play catch and take your spouse out and get out to these events that we do socially all the time with the golf tournaments and everything else, you don't have that. It's kind of hard to do anything because it also gets in your head, right? If you're not healthy enough mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, it's hard to do what you want to do. So, definitely motivated by my kids and my family, right? But that's the biggest thing right now is if I pick a couple of them, it's being healthy enough to enjoy this life that I've been given.
Well, my friend, that's probably one of the best answers yet. So kudos to you. Kudos to you. That was a fantastic spot on answer. So
thank you.
My man, it's time to transition. Now,
Here we go. Now, couple things. I'm not going to give the long segue into it. We're just going to jump right in. We're doing dad jokes. Let's go.
This is, the most heavily requested session that we do. It's the crowd favorite. People want to hear it. But more importantly, as our honored guest, we had to have this for you. We had to do dad jokes for you because our number one fan, if our number one fan wants dad jokes, we do dad jokes.
We're doing it.
All right. So like we normally do, we're going to start with you, Josh. Okay. 2 to 3 dad jokes. Then we'll go to Justin, 2 to 3 dad jokes. Then we'll wrap up with me with my 2 to 3 dad jokes. All right. So Josh, our honored guest, fire away.
Here we go. And Cameron, I know you're a big fan, so these are for you too.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So heard her Yippin Network.
We're going to keep this. There's a fishing theme with today's dad jokes.
Fishing theme. Right? I love it.
So first one here, where do fish spend their money?
On the banks.
Close.
All right, Josh, go.
On the river banks.
On the river banks. There you go. All right, I love it. Okay,
all right.
Good.
This is where the explicit filter potentially could come out. I don't know.
It's fine if it does. It's fine.
But what do fish say when they hit the concrete wall?
Damn it.
Damn.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
All right, love it. All right, you have one more for me.
All right, last one here. What do you call a fish that practices medicine?
No idea.
Go for it. What is it?
A sturgeon.
A sturgeon. I love it. That was good.
Cameron, you're welcome.
All right. Justin.
Oh, I have some good ones for you today.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. What looks like half a tree?
If this is like one of those my tree versus your tree ones,
what looks like half the tree? A trunk.
The other half. See, I told you that's a good one. All right, so Josh was talking about tennis, so we got to get a tennis one in. So have you ever heard of the new sport called quiet tennis? It's like normal tennis, but without the racket.
Oh, hey.
Hey-o.
There we go. All right.
I got one more or no?
Yeah. Hey, Josh, have you ever heard of Murphy's Law? Have you ever heard of Cole's Law?
No.
It's a side dish at picnic?
It's thinly sliced cabbage with salad dressing. It's so good.
Get out of here.
That was good.
Well done, Justin.
Yeah, well done. All right, my turn. All right, so why does Snoop Dogg use an umbrella?
I don't know.
Oh, drizzle.
Oh, drizzle, my schnizzle. There you go.
All right. What's a cow's favorite Friday night spot?
Pasture?
Yeah, I have no idea.
The movies.
There we go.
All right, I'll go one more. What does the world's greatest dentist get?
The golden tube of toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest dentist?
Mm-hmm. The greatest dentist in the world. What did they get?
I don't know.
A little plaque.
These are so good. This is why people need to know this. Like, you go to your kid's elementary school. There's this thing that's called it's where the dads go. It's not the Wolf Pack, but it's this thing where dads go and they introduce you in the morning. So I was talking to the principal. I'm like, hey, can I tell a joke? She's like, you got jokes? I'm like, yeah, let's go. I got a joke. So we're sitting there. My kids are like, Dad, don't tell a joke. Don't tell any jokes. Don't tell any jokes. So I said, hey, what's an elf's favorite subject in school? And everyone's like, huh? I said, the alphabet. I heard kids in their classrooms yelling, and my daughter, my fifth grader, couldn't believe it. She was like, my third grader was coming out, high-fiving me. Dad!
Yep. Hey, this is why we do what we do, right?
Good.
That's right. A little embarrassment, but also it's fun. Well, that wraps up dad jokes for this episode. Josh, thank you very much for being our honored guest on today's episode of the ACUMA On Point podcast. Really enjoyed the conversation.
My pleasure. Appreciate you being here and appreciate everything that this community does for its members. There's a lot. So if you're listening to this and you haven't gotten involved much in what's taking place with ACUMA, I would heavily encourage you to hit the workshops and annual, because you're going to meet a lot of really good people, first of all, and you're going to take away some good knowledge, some nuggets home as well. So, and I wasn't paid to say that, but I bet it.
No. I appreciate a shameless plug. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Justin, thank you.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Of course. And to everyone else, thank you very much for spending a little part of your day listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoy it. Be on the lookout for the latest and greatest coming out of ACUMA. Until next time, take care, my friends.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time at the ACUMA On Point podcast. If not already, be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. For more great episodes and information, be sure to visit us online at acuma.org. And to get the latest updates, head over to our LinkedIn page.